You think you are more well-mannered than us, Miss Perfect? Save yourself now.
Oops, clumsy much? Thought you were too good for this? Clean that up, darling.
Why? Me?
You're nothing, Elena. Just a stain to clean up.
What did you expect? You'll never be one of us. Please.
Why are you doing this?
You don't belong here.
Why are you so cruel?
Before we dive in, please like, subscribe, and comment below to let us know what you think. Don't forget to share this video to support us and help bring more exciting and heartwarming stories your way. Stay tuned and enjoy this sweet story. Elena's breath caught in her throat, but she didn't stop mopping. She couldn't let them see how much it hurt. She had learned the hard way that showing vulnerability only made it worse. It wasn't that she didn't feel the pain of their words. She did, every time. But she had built up walls, thick walls to keep the hurt out. She had no choice but to endure it. Elena continued her work through the lobby, past the shimmering reception desks and the gold-accented furniture. The guests, dressed in their finest clothes, were oblivious to her presence. They were too busy checking in, gossiping, or chatting on their phones. To them, she was simply part of the hotel's background. And that was how it had always been. But Elena wasn't always like this. Isolated, detached, invisible. Once upon a time, she had dreams of being someone more. She remembered when she was young, before life had hardened her, when she used to believe that she could be something great. When she was a child in the orphanage, she used to dream of wearing a beautiful dress and dancing at events like the ones the hotel usually hosts every year. She had imagined being someone important, someone seen, someone appreciated. But dreams were for people who could afford them, people who had opportunities. Elena had nothing, not even the chance to escape the life that had been thrust upon her. She had worked every job she could find, waitressing, cleaning, anything to make ends meet. But no matter how hard she worked, how many hours she spent scrubbing floors, she was always reminded that she was nothing more than a janitor, and no one would ever see her as anything else. The day passed slowly. As her shift came to an end, Elena sat in the staff room, staring at the blank walls. She was exhausted, physically and emotionally. The laughter from the receptionists still echoed in her mind, their words replaying over and over again. Then her phone buzzed, breaking her from her thoughts. She pulled it out of her pocket, unsure of what she was about to see. But when she saw the name on the screen, her heart skipped a beat. James Montgomery, text message. Elena, you're invited to the company's gala this year. It's a charity event. You should come. Her breath caught in her throat. James Montgomery, the CEO of the hotel. The man who had always given her those secret smiles, the kind that made her wonder if he actually noticed her. Why was he inviting her to the gala? Was this some kind of joke? She remembered meeting him once, when she entered his suite to clean. She hadn't known who he was at first. He was sitting by the window, but when he saw her, he smiled and told her not to panic. James. Just go ahead and clean. I'm not in your way. She had continued her work, trying to ignore the fact that the CEO was watching her. He'd observed her quietly, impressed by the way she moved through the room with precision. There was something about her focus, her grace, that caught his attention, though he never revealed it. Now, months later, she was staring at his message inviting her to the company's gala. Why me? She couldn't understand. She stared at the message for a long time, unsure of how to react. Elena, thinking to herself, he's joking. There's no way I can go. I'll be the laughingstock, the joke of the evening. But then, another part of her whispered something different. What if I did go? Elena took a deep breath and typed her response. Elena. Text message, determination building inside her. I'll be there. She sent it before she could second-guess herself. This was her chance. She wasn't going to hide anymore. She wasn't going to let them define her. Not this time. Her heart raced as she left the staff room. It didn't matter that she didn't have a gown, didn't have the money for anything fancy. She would go, even if it meant walking in there in her old, worn-out uniform. Elena's chest tightened as she approached the elevator, and before she could even think about how everything had played out with the text message she received from the CEO, and how she imagined wearing the rags to the gala night party, she hit the button to the 5th floor and stepped inside. The doors closed behind her, and as the elevator began its ascent, Elena's knees buckled beneath her. She collapsed against the elevator wall, clutching the railing as hot tears welled up in her eyes. The weight of everything she had tried to keep in check was too much to bear. She wasn't good enough. The ridicule from the receptionist, the looks of disdain from the employees. She could already picture them mocking her in her worn-out clothes, her mismatched shoes, walking into that elegant ballroom gala night. As the lift ascended, the soft sound of footsteps approaching caught her attention. Elena quickly wiped away her tears, doing her best to steady her breathing. But before she could even prepare herself, the doors opened, and in walked the last person she expected to see. The royal lady is a wealthy, influential figure, known for her vast empire of global conglomerates, including exclusive chains of high-end jewelers and precious stone stores that dominate the luxury market worldwide. Her grace and authority were undeniable, commanding respect wherever she went. Elena had never imagined she would be in the presence of such a woman again, let alone form any meaningful connection with her. But it was the royal lady Elena had helped months ago. The memory of their encounter flashed vividly in her mind. It was during one of her routine cleanings that she had found the diamond set, a collection of priceless jewels left behind in the hotel suite by the royal lady. Without hesitation, Elena had done the right thing by returning them. When the royal lady saw them, her eyes widened in shock, as if she couldn't believe her eyes. The woman had immediately offered her a reward for her honesty, a sum that could have changed Elena's life. But Elena, true to her humble nature, had refused. Elena, I'm just doing what's right. I don't need anything in return. The royal lady, though initially surprised, smiled, clearly impressed by Elena's integrity. She respected her decision and whispered to herself, "What a remarkable impression kindness makes." Elena had forgotten about the moment, brushing it off as a fleeting interaction with a guest who would never remember her. The royal lady's eyes softened when she saw Elena's tear-streaked face, and without hesitation, she stepped closer to her. Royal lady, concern in her voice, gently,
"Are you all right?"
quickly wiped her eyes, trying to compose herself, but it was too
It's just
late.
so
She
overwhelming.
couldn't hide the depth of her emotions. Why did this woman have to find me like this? Elena tried to laugh it off, but the sound came out weak. Elena, sniffing, voice barely above a whisper. "I'm fine. It's just the teasing from the employees of this company. They think I'll show up in rags at the gala tonight." She glanced at the royal lady, frustration in her eyes. "The CEO invited me, but I don't have a dress that's worthy of the event. How could I fit in there? I'm just not like them. I can't afford what they wear." The royal lady's face softened with understanding. She took a step closer, her eyes filled with empathy. She looked Elena over for a moment, studying her carefully, and then her smile grew, the warmth in her expression becoming even more evident. Royal lady, gently, with kindness. You know, I've watched you, Elena. You go above and beyond in everything you do. You're always so careful, so thoughtful. You deserve so much more than you give yourself credit for. Elena bit her lip, trying not to let the tears fall again. She had heard kind words before, but this felt different. It was like the royal lady saw her, really saw her for who she was, not the invisible woman who cleaned floors. Elena, shaking her head, her voice low. But the way they treat me, the way they look at me, it's too much. I don't belong in a place like this. Royal lady, smiling softly, but with a firmness in her voice. Then come with me, Elena. I want to help you. You've earned this night. You deserve to feel beautiful, just like everyone else. Elena blinked, surprised by the royal lady's words. Help me? Elena could hardly believe what she was hearing. How could she help me? The royal lady's eyes softened with compassion, and she gently placed a hand on Elena's arm, offering a reassuring squeeze. Royal lady, firm but kind. That's why I'm here. Let me take care of, your dress. You've been so kind to everyone around here, Elena. You've earned the right to experience something beautiful. Come with me. Elena's heart raced in disbelief. Without saying another word, she followed the royal lady, stepping out of the elevator. Royal lady, leading her toward the boutique. There's a boutique just around the street. I'll make sure you get something perfect, something that makes you feel like you belong. Tonight is for you. Hope you are enjoying the story. Please like, subscribe, and comment below to let us know what you think. Don't forget to share this video to support us. The boutique glimmered with soft lights, casting a warm glow over the rows of beautiful gowns, shimmering jewelry, and delicate fabrics. Elena felt out of place in this world of opulence. She had never even dreamed of stepping foot in a place like this, let alone wearing a dress from it. She stood there for a moment, unsure of what to do, her eyes darting across the racks of gowns. Royal lady, seeing her hesitation, gently guiding her forward. Go ahead, Elena. Pick what you like. You deserve to feel amazing. This is your time. Elena stood frozen, her fingers brushing against the rich silk and satin. She could feel the price, the luxury, radiating off the fabrics. But as her eyes wandered to a gown hanging elegantly on the far side of the room, something drew her in. It was a deep gold silk dress with intricate lace and beading woven into the fabric. The gold shimmered in the soft light, and the delicate lace on the bodice caught Elena's eye. Elena, softly, almost to herself. This one feels like me. The royal lady smiled knowingly, stepping closer as she admired the dress in Elena's hands. Royal lady, with pride in her voice. It's perfect. Go ahead, try it on. This is the dress that matches the queen inside of you. Elena couldn't help but feel a surge of confidence at the royal lady's words. She walked to the changing room with the gown, her heart pounding in her chest. As she slipped the dress on, she couldn't believe how it fit her. The gold lace shimmered like stars, and the gown hugged her body perfectly. For the first time, Elena felt like someone else, someone beautiful, someone worthy. As Elena stepped out of the changing room, her heart raced. The gown fit her perfectly, the gold lace shimmering like stars. She looked at herself in the mirror, hardly believing what she was seeing. But as she turned to face the royal lady, her gaze fell to Elena's neck, Her eyes widened in shock. Royal lady, staring at Elena's birthmark, her voice trembling. "Elena, that mark, it's the same as my daughter's who has been missing for years, the exact same birthmark." Elena froze, confusion spreading through her. What was she talking about? She instinctively touched the crescent-shaped mark on her neck, which had always been there, but she never thought it meant anything significant. Elena, nervously, unsure. "I've always had this. I didn't know it meant anything." The royal lady stepped closer, her voice shaking with emotion as she reached out toward Elena. Royal lady, voice trembling. "My daughter had the same birthmark. She went missing when she was 10. I've been looking for her for years. Elena, I think you're my daughter." She quickly grabbed her phone and dialed the number, still in disbelief. "Let me call my doctor for a DNA test to confirm this." The royal lady held her hands to her mouth, her eyes wide with shock, unable to contain the surge of emotions rushing through her. Elena stood there, stunned. The world around her seemed to fade as the royal lady's words sank in. My daughter, she had just called her that. Elena couldn't breathe, couldn't think straight. This couldn't be true. Elena, her voice breaking, barely able to comprehend. How is this possible? I grew up in an orphanage. I've never known my family. Royal lady, tears filling her eyes, pulling Elena into an embrace. I never stopped looking for you, Elena. I thought I lost you forever, but you're here. The words hit Elena like a tidal wave. She stood frozen in the royal lady's arms, unable to grasp what was happening. Everything she had ever known, the loneliness, the feeling of being lost, of being invisible, was now unraveling. The woman she had helped all those months ago had just revealed herself to be her mother. Royal lady, softly, wiping away her tears, her voice full of warmth and tenderness. I've always loved you, Elena, even when I didn't know where you were. Tonight, you're going to feel loved, cherished, and seen. The night air was crisp as the royal lady's limousine, with Elena inside, slowly rolled up to the grand entrance of the gala. Elena's heart raced, her mind swirling with emotions. She had never felt more out of place in her life, yet tonight something felt different. Who am I now? The thought echoed in her mind, but it was quickly followed by something new. I am someone worth seeing. The grand ballroom loomed before her, its golden chandeliers glowing through the large glass windows. The sound of elegant music and soft laughter floated in the air as the limo came to a stop. Elena's hands trembled slightly as she reached for the door. She had no idea what she was walking into, but she couldn't back out now. I belong here. As she stepped out of the limo, she felt the eyes of every guest turn toward her. The employees of the company who had once ridiculed her, the men who had never looked twice at her. Now they were all watching. Elena walked toward the grand entrance with a newfound grace, her gold gown shimmering under the lights. It was as if she were glowing, the lace catching the light with every step. She had never felt so seen, so noticed in her entire life. Inside the ballroom, the atmosphere was nothing short of magical. Glittering gowns and sharp tuxedos filled the room, laughter and conversation floating in the air. The guests, royalty, dignitaries, celebrities, mingled like they had all been part of this world for years. Elena felt a pang of self-doubt as she entered, but she pushed it aside. This is my moment. As she walked through the crowd, the whispers began. It was impossible to avoid the murmurs as Elena passed by the guests. Her gown, her presence. It was all so unexpected. No one knew who she was, but they couldn't look away. mischievous receptionist one, whispering, eyes wide, taking in Elena's transformation in disbelief. Wait, is that really her? No way. The janitor in rags we used to mock? Looking like a queen standing before us? She's glowing. What happened? She looks more beautiful, more expensive than all of us. This can't be the same girl, right? She's transformed, stealing the show. She looks like a princess, indeed. Elena could hear them, but she didn't flinch. Let them stare. Let them wonder. She knew she was different now. The woman they saw wasn't the janitor in worn-out clothes. They were seeing her for the first time. The real her. The chatter died down when the most powerful man in the room, James Montgomery, the CEO of the hotel, stepped forward. Elena's heart skipped a bit when she saw him. She had seen him before, of course, the day she had entered his hotel suite to clean. But seeing him now, in the grand setting of the gala, was something else entirely. Tall, commanding, his dark suit only enhanced his aura of authority. His piercing blue eyes locked onto hers, and for a brief moment, Elena felt as though the room had gone silent. It was just the two of them, standing in the middle of it all. James Montgomery was staring at her, his mouth slightly agape. His eyes widened as he took in her appearance. Elena felt a flush creep up her neck at his gaze. But then something surprising happened. James stepped forward, his face softening as he approached her. James Montgomery, his voice low, filled with admiration. "Elena, you look incredible." Elena's breath caught in her throat. She had never heard her name spoken with so much sincerity before. Something in his eyes, a mix of surprise and admiration, that made Elena feel seen in a way she never had before. "Well, you've certainly taken me by surprise. I'm glad you decided to come tonight. It's indeed a night to remember." Elena smiled weakly, feeling both nervous and proud at the same time. She had stepped into a world she didn't belong to, and now, for the first time, she was being noticed. She wasn't the janitor anymore. She wasn't invisible. She was Elena, standing in front of one of the most powerful men in the room, receiving his full attention. The guests, sensing the connection between them, started to murmur once again, but this time the whispers were different. They were filled with awe, respect, even admiration. James extended his hand toward Elena, and she hesitated for only a moment before taking it. His grip was firm but warm, and it gave her a sense of reassurance. This was real. James Montgomery, smiling, his eyes twinkling with curiosity. "Would you care to join me for a dance? I'd like to get to know you better." A dance? With him? The thought seemed surreal. "I'd like that." They walked to the dance floor together, and as the music swirled around them, Elena's nerves began to settle. The gown she wore, the confidence she felt, it was all new to her. But in James Montgomery's presence, it felt natural. He was a man who commanded respect, but tonight, he wasn't looking at her with the same dismissive air he had before. He was looking at her like she was someone worth knowing. James Montgomery, as they danced, his voice quiet and intimate. "You've surprised me tonight, Elena. I didn't expect any of this." Elena, laughing softly, trying to catch her breath. "I didn't expect it either. It feels like a dream." James Montgomery, his tone playful, yet sincere. As the song came to an end, still holding her hand. "You've made a lasting impression tonight, Elena. I hope you know that." James Montgomery led Elena to a quiet corner of the ballroom, away from the crowd. The music swirled around them, but in that moment, it felt as though the world had slowed to a standstill. He gazed at her with something deeper than admiration in his eyes, his voice steady but full of emotion. Elena, when I invited you tonight, it wasn't just because I wanted to see you. It wasn't about your appearance or the gala. It was because I've wanted to get to know you, to understand you. Ever since that day you walked into my hotel suite, I couldn't stop thinking about you. You were so focused, so genuine. I knew you were someone special, someone who deserved more than just a fleeting glance. I wanted to know you. As the night unfolded, everything changed. James Montgomery, smiling softly, eyes filled with admiration. Can I kiss you, Elena? I've wanted to do this for so long. She closed the space between them, her lips meeting his in a kiss that was soft at first, but quickly deepened with all the pent-up emotion, longing, and intensity between them. But before the world could completely melt away, the soft sound of footsteps interrupted their moment. Elena pulled back, her breath quick, as she looked toward the source of the disturbance. It was the royal lady. She walked into the quiet corner of the ballroom, a soft smile on her face. Elena, I have the good news you've been waiting for. The DNA test, it confirms everything. You're my daughter. The woman who had helped her, guided her, had just confirmed the unthinkable. He had witnessed Elena's transformation, but this was something even he hadn't expected. He couldn't help but step closer. He wrapped both Elena and the royal lady in a warm, heartfelt hug, and for the first time, they all stood together. 3 people who had been brought together by fate, love, and a long-awaited reunion. If you really enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and comment below to let us know your thoughts. Share this video with your friends to help us bring more exciting and heartwarming stories your way. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.